In this video, I'm going to talk about DMVPN. You know that in DMVPN or Dynamic Multipoint Virtual Private Network, actually, we are using multiple technologies. Okay, one of them is MGRE. Actually, first we should learn about the MGRE. After that, we can talk about other fundamental topics related to the DMVPN. Look at here, in Dynamic Multipoint VPN or DMVPN, we are using multiple technologies. One of them is Multipoint GRE or MGRE. The next is Next Hop Resolution Protocol or NHRP, and after that IPsec. Also, we are using IGP protocols like, for example, OSPF or EIGR. But first, we should learn about the MGRE. What is the MGRE? Okay, and what is the benefit? What are the benefits of the MGRE? After that, we can talk about other details. Don't forget that in DMVPN, we are using multiple technologies. First, we should learn about these technologies. After that, we can talk about the DMVPN itself. In the first step, okay, at the first step in this video, I'm going to talk about the MGRE. You know that in previous video we have learned about the GRE. Now we are talking about the MGRE. Before talking about the MGRE, let me to review GRE or Generic Routing Encapsulation. Okay, is a tunneling method, and you have learned about the detail of GRE and also for example the configuration of the GRE in the previous video. You know that GRE is a point-to-point tunneling method. And what does it mean? It means that in GRE, every time we have, okay, a tunnel between two tunnel endpoint, means R1 and R2. Here we have transport network, for example, okay. And finally, this tunnel is establishing between the two endpoint, router 1 and, for example, router 2. But we have other type of GRE tunnel. We call it MGRE. M, as you can see here, is for example is the abbreviation of the multipoint GRE. Let me to say that many of the features of the multipoint GRE or MGRE, okay, are like the GRE or generic routing encapsulation, but this is not a point-to-point tunnel. This is a point to, for example, multi-point tunnel. I will explain it and you will learn it. Don't forget that MGRE is one of the technologies that we are using in DMVPN, and it is so important to learn about it. All right, let me to talk about the MGRE first. After that, we can talk about other components of the DMVPN. Look at here. As you can see, we have 5 routers. Okay, this is only one example. Here we have this router. This is the main office router. And after that, we have branch 1 router, branch 2 router, branch 3 router, and branch 4 router. And here we have a transport network. This is like the, for example, internet. Maybe it is internet or intranet, okay? But you know that with, for example, any type of network, here now we have connectivity between the for example, each of these routers with each other. For example, if in the branch office, in branch 1, we are using IP1, okay, and also in the branch 2, we are using IP2, okay, and then in branch 3, for example, we are using IP3, and finally in the branch 4 we are using IP4. We have connectivity between this IP, these 4 IP addresses, and also assume that in the main office we are using IPM. Okay, this IP also is reachable with other branch routers. Actually, now we can easily configure multiple, okay, GRE tunnel. It means multiple point-to-point tunnel. Assume that we want to have connectivity between the main office LAN and also branch 2 LAN. You know that in each of these, for example, branch, we have a LAN. For example, here we have LAN 1. Okay, maybe multiple LAN, and here we have LAN 2, and we want to have connectivity between these LANs. For example, here we have LAN 3 and then LAN 4. Okay, and after that, for example, here we are using the LAN M, means the main office. Okay, what does it mean? It means that now for connectivity between these LANs, we should establish multiple GRE, means multiple GRE point-to-point tunnel. What does it mean? Look at here. Assume that this is our first tunnel, first GRE tunnel between the, for example, main office router, okay, and after that with the branch router. This is the first tunnel. Each branch at least has one tunnel with the headquarter. As you can see, let me to add it here. It is so important to know why we are using multi-point GRE. Here, until now, we didn't use multi-point GRE. Actually, this is point-to-point GRE between the main office and also the branch one. Also here, let me to show you the next the next GRE or point-to-point GRE between the main office router and also branch 3 router. As you can see here, also we have the next tunnel between the main office and also branch 4. As you can see now, at least we have 4 GRE tunnel, 4 point-to-point tunnel. Okay, you know that in most cases we have some tunnels between the branch. For example, each branch maybe needs to send traffic to other branch. But for now, let me to say that now we have only GRE point-to-point tunnels between the main office router and also the, for example, other branches. So, and this means that if you have, for example, 1000 branch, you will have 1000 point-to-point tunnel. It is obvious. What does it mean? On the interface, on the main office, we should configure, for example, interface tunnel 0 with many configuration. After that, interface tunnel 1 again with many configuration, and then interface tunnel 2 again with many configuration, and so on. Okay, look at here, tunnel 2, and then for example, interface tunnel 3, and so on. Okay, what does it mean? We have 100 branches, we will have 100 interface tunnel. In each interface tunnel, you should configure many things. For example, you know that we are configuring in each interface tunnel a tunnel source and then tunnel destination. Okay, tunnel destination, and maybe a keep alive, in some cases other things. Okay, this means that also IP address, for example, this means that for the enterprises with many branch, we should configure multiple interface tunnel and also with multiple configuration. Also, it is possible that we have more than one main office edge router. For example, we have 2 main office edge router. Okay, again, we will have many GRE point-to-point tunnels between the main office and also branches. Also, don't forget, in future you will learn that we can secure the GRE tunnels with the IPsec. What does it mean? For each of these tunnels, we are enabling the IPsec or IP security for security features like the encryption, like the authentication, integrity check, or anti-replay attack. Okay, what does it mean? It means that preventing anti-replay attack, it means that we should configure again many commands because we have multiple tunnel interface. Also, don't forget again, it is possible to, for example, in one enterprise that we need direct point-to-point tunnel between some branches. Again, this adds the overhead of the administration. Because of that, now we can understand that GRE is a useful method. Okay, but when we want to have a small for example, when we are working in a small enterprise or a small to medium sized enterprise, and when we don't need to configure multiple GRE tunnels. Okay, if you want to use GRE in a small to medium scale enterprise with, for example, lower number of the GRE tunnels, it is a good method. But when we are working in one enterprise, okay, with multiple branch, and we need to have tunnels between the different, for example, branch and also the main office, and also maybe between other branches, we cannot use GRE or point-to-point GRE. Okay, the overhead of administration is so, for example, high, and it is not so easy to for example, maintain this network. Assume that, for example, we have 100 branch Okay, and also we need to have full mesh connectivity between all of this branch. What does it mean? It means that the numbers of the GRE tunnels is n multiply n minus 1, okay, divided to 2. Okay, and if you want, you can calculate it.